Hello, everybody, and welcome to Book Events, the wrestling dream match podcast on the internet. I'm one of your hosts, Martin Bennett. And with me, as always, is the mouth of the South, Anthony Hall.
Hello, everyone. It is me.
We 100% did not prepare for this joke.
It's a joke only for our video watchers of the pod.
I can't handle this.
I downloaded Snap Camera to make my Zoom experiences more spicy, and now I have a big mouth.
Oh my gosh. I can't handle this. All right. Well, besides Anthony amusing himself today, we have a special guest here on this episode of the podcast. Anthony, why don't you introduce them?
All right, Book It Vince listeners and watchers, please welcome one of Toronto's best comedians, the creator of one of the longest running shows in Toronto. Good news, Toronto. Put your hands together for Korri Birch.
Woo! Oh yeah! Introducing Mr. Korri Birch.
Welcome.
Korri Birch, hailing from Markham, Ontario.
The one place you'll never expect anyone in WWE to ever be hailed from.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, no problem, Korri. Thank you so much for joining us. So yeah, tell us a bit about yourself to let the audience know, what do you do?
Yeah, I'm an actor, stand-up, improviser, just all around performer in Toronto. Yeah, as Anthony said, I run Good News Toronto. It's like the Daily Show, but it's Canadian, so it's more polite and drunken.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And and I will say the people who get to watch this version not only get to see Anthony's jeez, that mouth, I can't. You drank from your mug and then it changed back to
Yeah.
Won't be. I was trying to say is people that watch the episode, you'll get to see Anthony's giant mouth, but then you'll also get to see Korri's face paint. And I noticed that in like all your posts, you always either wear a Shrek mask or you have face paint or stuff. It's great.
I have one right here.
Perfect.
Reach.
Korri also has a Fiend mask, I'm pretty sure. Where do you have it here?
Yeah.
Do you have just like a grab bag of all your masks in your little Zoom room?
That's great.
Better believe it, kid.
Oh my God. That's so funny. All right.
Amazing.
Well, before we get into it, as always, when we have a special guest on the show, they hit us with their dream match that they want to see, and we'll break it down and dream up what that feud will be. But first, if you like what we do here on Book Events, please like and subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform you get your podcast from. Anthony, I swear to God. I can't handle it. I can't handle it. I'm trying to. It's because he's right below, where he is on my monitor, he's right below my webcam, so all I just see is Anthony doing. Anyways, like I said, please subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform you listen to your podcast on. Like we've already talked about, there's a video version on our YouTube channel. Please come and check that out as well. And also, we do answer viewer questions at the end of the episode, and you can submit those questions to us either on our social media platforms or on our website, UnknownErrorFilms.com/bookevents. If you go there, you can check out all of the episodes, all of the match recommendations that we give every single week, and also submit your questions. So, now we'll get into the meat of it. So we have Korri Birch here.
Yeah.
And you're going to hit us with your dream match that you want to see.
Okay, before we get started, I just hope that I get to come back because I have a long list of dream matches here that I would like to see.
Excellent.
Big classic ones like Andre the Giant versus The Big Show, for example, would be great.
Oh.
One I was thinking of is Tajiri versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Good one, too.
Abaddon versus Becky Lynch.
Abaddon? Holy shit.
But what I'm going to go for is, and I think Anthony might have seen this coming, The Fiend versus the Boogeyman.
No. How could you?
Dexter Lumis.
Wait, what? What was that end part?
Whoa. Wait. There's 3 people?
Yeah, Dexter Lumis.
Oh, my God.
Triple threat match.
A triple threat. This is our first triple threat.
Yes, this is. Oh, my goodness. Three people involved in this feud. Okay, yeah. Dexter, Lumis.
The hell do they even all come together? That's the question.
That's the.
do you have any like specific things that you want to see, or like any like caveats to the?
Oh, it's gonna be the main event of WrestleMania for sure. The Boogeyman has got a main event WrestleMania one time and one time only.
I can't believe this. Okay, so the caveat is that the Boogeyman and I guess to end this feud, it has to headline WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first thing that comes to my mind is that it honestly needs to be like a match for the other two's like souls or something nuts like that.
Oh, absolutely.
How do we even start?
Do you think they do a cinematic match for the WrestleMania main event? I guess they kind of did, right? Because the Boneyard match was a cinematic match.
Yeah.
Well, the Firefly Funhouse was a cinematic match.
But was that the main event of Mania? Like the Boneyard was like pretty much the main event of Mania.
Well, Boneyard was on night, like they were on separate nights.
Yeah, was it on night 1? Boneyard?
I don't remember, but it would have to be something like that because I mean, how else do you have these crazy characters interact? Like, it would be a very good wrestling match, honestly. Just their physicality, like they're all very good wrestlers.
And we all know what the Boogeyman's finisher is, and that's how it's all going to end.
Oh my God!
Boogie Slam, which is a version of the pump
handle slam,
the greatest move in wrestling history. I
think we talked about this the last. I forget which episode it was on. It was one of the last ones that we recorded, and we got your question of about the Boogeyman, and we had to look up what his finisher was.
Yeah, I actually could not remember.
I remembered the sit down choke slam. I don't know if it has a specific move or name, but yeah. Let's see. Goodness. Okay. I guess we need to book. If this is going to happen in this timeline, we need to figure out Dexter Lumis's move up to the main roster and why Boogeyman comes back.
Yeah, I think it would start with a feud between Lumis and the Fiend.
Yeah, for sure.
I think like Lumis would be like a call-up from NXT, which always historically has gone well for NXT call-ups.
I mean, dating all the way back to...
they did great stuff with Shinsuke.
Finn Balor, and then he went back. That shows you how well it went.
Neville.
Yeah, Neville.
Oh, my favorite tag team ever, the Vaudevillians.
Ascension. Ascension also died. I mean, all the tag teams that come up from NXT.
Authors of Pain, baby. Authors of Pain. They're still going strong.
Yeah, somewhere. Recently released Authors of Pain. We missed you.
I love if we just mention all these names and then of course like, what? I didn't know any.
Yeah.
I've just been watching NXT.
Goodbye. We wish you the best in your future endeavors, Akam and Razor.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, it'd have to be a call up. I mean, I would hope it would be something going out on something like getting a good enough program of either like trying to get the North American title or the NXT title. And then, yeah, sure, he loses, but then he moves up and then appears on the roster.
Yeah, it'll be beaten by Cameron Grimes for sure. That's the most logical. Get a cave in.
So do you think that, like, let's say in this universe, Cameron Grimes is the North American champion?
Cameron Grimes.
This is if you're listening to this podcast, you need to watch it. I don't care what you say. If you're on Spotify right now, just go to YouTube and watch it.
Just switch to YouTube.
Yeah, it would have to be something like that. And then coming on,
I feel like he would have like the North American title, loses it, and then the next Raw he gets called up.
Right.
It would be. I mean, he would have to come in a big way, and probably just start. I mean, I just love his stalker character, and just like the creepiness of like him against Roderick Strong was one of the best, just because it was so, just him randomly appearing and just never like really showing up and just driving him insane was so good. I imagine it have to be something similar. To someone else just to establish him.
I must say the worst part of his character are those caricatures that he has, because they're so cartoony.
He's good at drawing, man.
It's a good caricature, but it doesn't evoke spookiness from me. I'm like, oh, he could work at Canada's Wonderland or something.
Right. It certainly isn't like an intimidating thing, but it is like pretty funny that he has this like incredible drawing talent.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's where it starts. Maybe he like, I think that.
Oh my god!
Let him in. I think how it could start though. Anthony's gone wild.
Yeah.
But it could start with like maybe just the claim of like the commentators or like people putting Lumis over as like the scariest person on the roster. Like he's. And like you might start drawing the Fiend or something like that.
Who would be the perfect like annoying like scaredy cat heel?
The Miz. You think of the Miz? The Miz.
So
the Miz?
Dexter Lumis stalking the Miz and like creeping him out, sending him weird messages, drawings and stuff, and just showing up and like, you would be really good. What if then like as like a video package, it shows like old clips of Miz and Mrs. and then they superimpose Dexter Lumis into like the back of it.
Oh yeah,
in the background where he's just
funny.
standing and like staring and watching.
Or he's just like. Peeking from like beyond this wall, like he's like, oh.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. That'd be a good run because it would really show how good he is at wrestling, but then also just how creepy he can be.
Yeah, it could be for either the Money in the Bank title or the contract rather, or what other title could the Miz have? I guess the US.
He could end up getting like a US title or Intercontinental title. But even so, I don't really think even like it has to be for a title because it would just be a good way to establish his character because he genuinely is such an interesting character, but then he's really good at what he does. And then the creepiness of his submission and then holding the person in the ring. I love it. But
when he crawls on his hands, and he's like just slides around like whoa.
Yeah.
So then, I think that's a great way to establish him. And then it probably, I mean, you either need to have the Fiend do something to Lumis or Lumis do something to the Fiend. It's one of them trying to establish dominance over the other or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say that like the feud with the Miz and Dexter Lumis, it like maybe ends, and then Miz wants to like talk to Dexter Lumis on Miz TV, and he wants to like kind of like bestow the moniker of like the creepiest, weirdest superstar, like, and he's basically like telling like the rest of the locker room like not to mess with Dexter Lumis, and then you hear everybody's favorite high-pitched sound and the ring goes black. Yeah. and maybe that's how the Fiend gets involved with Dexter Lumis, is that after he beats the Miz is just like, nobody mess with this guy.
Yeah.
He's weird. He'll hurt you. He'll come into your house. Just leave him alone, all right?
It'd be really funny to then have Morrison be there too, and he's just like hyping all that up too.
Yeah, he's like, that's true.
Or they have it so that Morrison, like, because I love the whole like Roderick Strong basically like having like PTSD because of it. Yeah. And like they had to do that therapy session where Kyle O'Reilly was the psychiatrist. But imagine if something happened where it spooked Morrison so bad that he like it changed his character a little bit just for like a couple of weeks or something where like he was so stunned and he comes out for his entrance, but he doesn't do anything. He just is sort of just walking shocked and scared.
Well, he instead of doing his like his arm thing and like the slow-mo cam, he just like comes, he's kind of like walking with swagger, and then he like the slow-mo cam is just like him looking back in fear and being like, oh.
But Johnny Drip no more.
Johnny scared.
Yeah.
So then I think it's that the Fiend or that Bray Wyatt like shows interest in him, and maybe it is just like a little like in that interview. Has Dexter Lumis cut a promo ever?
I don't think so. He's like a strong clown type. His finisher's the silence. So
like
his character.
Imagine if he came out on Miz TV and just sat there and just didn't say anything.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how it would go. He would go on Miz TV, saying that thing, and then perhaps later in that same episode, or maybe the next week on Raw, it would be like a Firefly Funhouse.
Yes.
Just Bray being Bray Wyatt and being like, oh, I hear there's a new spook.
Yeah.
It would definitely also, well, you could play into the Alexa Bliss stuff now where it's like, where maybe Alexa is like, maybe it's that Bray is not really too like worried, and it's this whole like, oh, we have a new friend in the neighborhood, and they do like a caricature of Dexter in some way, like where it's like how they always keep bringing in characters that are supposed to portray someone else outside, and they do something like that. I don't know what it would be. Maybe it's like this new puppet or something that's a mute, and so then they make fun of that.
Yeah, it's like silent squirrel, and and the squirrel is just like
doesn't say anything.
Yeah,
that'd be so weird. I mean, the Firefly Funhouse is weird no matter what.
Silent Squirrel is the Dexter Lumis character in Firefly Funhouse, and then Bray and Alexa try to get the Silent Squirrel to like walk into a trap or something.
Yeah, and then maybe like the next week on Raw, Lumis is having a match like one-on-one with Morrison, and Morrison's still doing like the scared entrance and stuff like that, and then the lights go out, and then like the Fiend sound again.
Yeah.
And then like lights come up, Morrison's gone, and then you can see like the Fiend on the jumbotron.
And then I think this is the thing we always cover. That always ends up we kind of talk about when it comes to like very specifically like characters where they have a very specific way that they act, and so I can't imagine anything funnier but also weird than like someone like Caleb Braxton or Sarah Sniber trying to interview
Lumis?
Dexter Lumis, and it's what do you think about what's happening with the Fiend right now and the interest that he's taken into you?
And just nothing.
Yeah, I think in NXT, I think Mackenzie Mitchell like has tried to interview Dexter Lumis before, like, and he just like look into the camera and then just like walk off.
Yeah, I think that's a great build. Like moving forward towards the thing, like it's kind of like an Orange Cassidy thing where he doesn't say anything in his promos. At least that's how it was initially.
Yeah,
like, Lumis doesn't say anything ever.
It definitely then I think maybe like Bliss is then the sort of mouthpiece that helps bridge the gap together, and maybe then it builds towards like some sort of encounter where Bliss maybe is having a match or something, and then Lumis interrupts the match.
Yeah.
And like tries to scare her back, and then you have this like really interesting character piece of like, we've seen this whole change in Alexa Bliss's character and how she started to become like, you know, the creepy, the scary sister, and then all of a sudden what spooks her the most is this new guy in WWE who are on the main roster that's just silent, weird, creepy.
Yeah. And he's just always like popping up, like just randomly, like he's always just kind of in the corner lurking. And
I don't think he'd get involved in like an Alexa Bliss match, but he could be like, he would like come from like the Thunderdome screens, just like behind one or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you could do some really cool visual effects with the Thunderdome and Lumis, where like he pops up on in people's different screens, and then like maybe it builds towards this thing of like him filling up all of the screens. And just his face just staring. Oh, that'd be creepy.
Or just like it like fills up all the screens, and then all of a sudden like it makes like one big Dexter Lumis face. That'd be pretty spoopy for sure.
Man. But yeah, so then does this lead into like a match between the two of them, or an encounter between the two of them?
I think eventually Bray would be the one to call him out and be like, Mr. Lumis, like, I think it's time we met.
Yeah.
And like they meet, and like what would be a good stipulation type match for them.
But it would be Bray Wyatt, not the Fiend, right? Because we saved the Fiend for like, I don't know, for punishing people and
hurt deal.
Yeah.
You could have a really interesting encounter where you do something that's kind of like cinematic in a way, but it's just like a backstage promo, but it's not necessarily backstage. Maybe it's something like, I don't know. Personally, the Dinner Debonair has kind of changed the way that I think about like segments, because it was so weird and just so crazy. And if you don't know what we're talking about, it's from AEW. Chris Jericho and MJF doing a musical number to continue their story, and it was so interesting. But it's like you could have just like, maybe it's something like that Bray Wyatt wants to sit down with Dexter, and like maybe it's some sort of thing where he like taps into his mind or something crazy like that, just so that he can get insight on this guy and what is his deal, why is he here, sort of thing. And maybe that freaks out Bray Wyatt himself.
Yeah. Would you think this would happen in the Firefly Funhouse?
Yeah, it would be.
Oh, yeah, that'd be interesting if he invites Dexter Lumis to come to the Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah, that'd be so weird. Like it would, like, would the character of Dexter Lumis still be the same, of just silent and saying nothing and doing nothing, but then he comes in the Firefly Funhouse, and then it kind of, maybe Bray Wyatt goes into the mind of Dexter Lumis. This is starting to get into weird territory.
Yeah. Maybe the first one is like there's like a knock on the door, and then like they open it and it's just one of Loomis's drawings.
I like that. That's
nice.
Oh yeah. And it's just, yeah. I mean, the best that you can do with this is just little moments week after week of just them starting to, like, we kind of did this in one of our past episodes. I think it was the Brood versus
the Wyatt family.
The Wyatt family, where it's like you start to kind of like out creep each other.
Yes.
And it's who can one up each other's creepiness. Yeah. And like, I think that's where it would kind of lead to, is like, each week you have a different moment. And throughout that, I think it would just be, in terms of wrestling, it would be like Dexter Lumis just having match after match just to keep showing how like dominant he is and how serious he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think the creepy factors can happen like both in the ring and also in like backstage things. like just backstage, like stuff's going wrong and people don't know, is it Lumis? Is it the Fiend? Who's to blame? And they're trying to get to the bottom of it.
But then even more creepy stuff happens, maybe. Yeah. Stuff that involves earthworms.
Yeah.
I was waiting. I was like, all right, how are we going to get him involved now?
Yeah, exactly.
How are we going to get him involved now? I think, having those little moments pop up would definitely then trigger, like, what's going on? It, like, when we did the Brood versus the Y family, it was this whole thing of that the entire backstage is so creeped out that they don't want to wrestle. And it's kind of that same story of like, everybody must be like freaking out. Like, I don't even want to be here at work because there's just too many creepy things going on.
Yeah. So I wonder,
I mean, the easiest thing to like push a story forward is to be like, well, they're going after a championship.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy to then foil each other in that way. But yeah, to get the Boogeyman involved, it could be a thing of maybe they end up well, I think Bray Wyatt and Dexter Lumis would have a match at one point.
Yeah. I think how we could book it is there'd be like Lumis, or maybe the Fiend wins the first match at like a pay-per-view, and then the second like one is the Fiend, and then the rubber match, the Boogeyman gets added in.
Oh, okay. So Dexter Lumis beats like Mr. Rogers Bray Wyatt in the first match.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the Fiend is awoken and tries to punish Dexter Lumis and ultimately is successful. And then in the rubber match, creepy stuff has been happening for too long.
Yeah,
they have to settle it.
I think at that point you have like. You maybe have another match between the Fiend and Dexter, and maybe it's some sort of gimmick match.
Yeah.
That can introduce the Boogeyman, where then maybe trailing along in the story, you start to have moments of like, maybe, I don't know, it could involve Alexa Bliss, where it's just like, I mean, the easiest thing to connect the Boogeyman with is like nightmares. So it maybe that gets involved where it's like they start talking about nightmares and horror and all these things. And maybe maybe what's that one match? Chamber of Horrors, is that a match type?
Oh.
Or something like that? I forget. But maybe it's something like that. And then that's where the Boogeyman comes out and instead of there being a finish to that match, it ends in a non-finish and the Boogeyman's there, but like instead of just it being like old Boogeyman, we like ramp up the scariness factor of it, where it's like he's returned and he's a psychopath.
Yeah.
The original run of him was kind of silly and like whatever. It was like him versus Booker T and Charmel and stuff like that. Like this one could be like just like crazy Boogeyman. And I think we could also introduce him, if not a Chamber of Horror match, in like a Buried Alive match. And there's like earthworms. And then like that like leads to like, what are these worms doing here? And then he just...
Oh, I like that actually. We could do like a cinematic, like sort of like the House of Horrors match.
Yeah.
But the stipulation is it's like to win the match, you have to bury the person alive.
Yeah.
And then we could get a non-finish there where it's like they're about to throw, like somebody is about to throw Dexter Lumis. Let's say the Fiend is about to throw Dexter Lumis into the pit. And then you like see inside of this like hole that's already digged out and there's all these worms.
Yeah.
Just crawling all over Dexter Lumis. And that also even like makes the Fiend like suspect. And from behind can appear like just like the Undertaker moment with AJ Styles. Behind the Boogeyman appears behind the Fiend and just pushes them also into the
and they both go
grave. Yeah, and then they both get buried.
And then he smashes the clock over his head.
Yeah.
It could be a really good moment, where you have the silhouette of him and you're like, what's going on? And then it does like a pan up reveal of him in his clothes, and then you hear his music come out.
Yeah.
And then he maybe just like smoldering says like, "I'm the boogeyman.
Yeah.
I'm coming to get you."
He's like, or he just goes, "I'm coming to get you." And doesn't he have like a huge like staff?
Yeah, he did.
He could just hit the Fiend. "I'm coming to get you." And just hits the Fiend in the head.
Yeah.
and then the Fiend falls in as well into the empty grave plot with Dexter Lumis.
What pay-per-view would this happen at, we think?
Oh. Well,
bragging rights. Let's just make it a bragging.
let's bring back bragging rights, stomping grounds.
Great Balls of Fire. That's the one. That's the
Great
one we'll do
Balls
it
of
at.
Fire.
Oh yeah. What about Cyber Monday? Was that one of them?
Cyber Tuesday, though. Cyber Tuesday was.
Okay. Yeah, so let's make it at like I mean, this feud it's crazy that it has to headline WrestleMania. So maybe this is at Great Balls of Fire. Seems like a fun pay-per-view to have.
Oh man.
Well, Halloween Havoc would make the most sense.
Yeah,
but I mean, that's too easy.
Extreme Rules, whatever the tagline this past year was.
Oh yeah. Okay, Extreme Rules makes sense.
Horrors.
That makes too much sense. Extreme Rules horror show. It's a buried alive House of Horrors match between Dexter Lumis and the Fiend.
Interrupted by the Boogeyman, making his return. What is the Boogeyman's intentions? Will we find out next time on Raw? Yeah. I guess we do. Maybe.
What are his intentions? Why is the Boogeyman back?
It would be really creepy if the Boogeyman came back and everybody's like, "Oh, it's the Boogeyman," and then he cuts like a fire promo.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
like that'd be so out of nowhere for that character.
Here to raise hell and like, you guys think scary? I'll show you.
Yeah. It's like true fear and nightmares and terror.
Yeah,
I'm back and I'm coming to get you.
He's like, I don't have my real teeth, and I really ate earthworms.
Oh my!
Legitimately not well.
I had a few concussions from hitting myself with a clock over and over again. I don't know what year it is.
Yeah. He's just trying to find out what year it is. This is the reason why he's back. Nobody will tell him what year it is. And he has to wrestle. He finds out.
And I think the following Raw, there could be like another the Firefly Funhouse. And like just Bray Wyatt's like, "Oh, you think that you got the best of me, Boogie? Well," and then like just cuts a promo.
It definitely would have to introduce the Boogeyman in the Firefly Funhouse, but I think then that would be like, it would introduce it, and he's like a fun, super go lucky character where he's like, "I'm the Boogeyman," and not threatening at all, not scary at all.
Like the Boogerman or something.
Or
the Boogerman.
I'm the Boogerman.
Baskin Boogerman.
I think you have to have some sort of like, I think you'd have to have that little bit of character change for the Boogeyman, just because then that way you can have him like, instead of just three characters who just do things indiscriminately and we don't really know why, you need to have some sort of reason. And so having him come in and be like, "I'm here to show the true horror," like what true horror is, and no one knows what, like no one's seen anything yet. And then it's like comparing them all of like, there's this guy who's silent and thinks he's threatening, but really he's just a creepy stalker. There's this guy who dresses up and hangs around with kids. And as a creepy clown, Mr. Rogers knockoff. It's so breaking it down like that, but then being able to have Bray Wyatt then retaliate in some way with that. And maybe then it's like playing with old footage of the Boogeyman, but like then just like adding fun sound effects and stuff where it's him like eating earthworms, and it's like squishing sounds, like just in a funny like,
and then kids going like, "Yay!"
Yeah. Every time he like breaks a clock, people are like, "Yay!" Yeah, and I think okay, so and then maybe
that's
really good.
And then maybe the Boogeyman has like just a complete squash match on Raw where he just completely destroys somebody in the ring.
Yeah.
Like just strong arms them and like just kills them.
Riddick Moss.
Riddick Moss. No, Dabba-Kato. Dabba-Kato's going down.
Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Let's squash Dabba-Kato because he already has been squashed by Braun Strowman after weeks of building up on Raw Underground.
Yeah, and then the Boogeyman on the next week he'll defeat all of Retribution. Single-handedly.
Let's just squash all of the prominent storylines and groups and people that we're trying to build up.
Yeah, the Hurt Business appears, and then the Boogeyman just smashes a clock on MVP's head.
Yeah.
Didn't they used to have a feud? I think they must have had a feud at one point.
They
Those
did,
two,
yeah,
they were around the same time, so they must have.
So maybe, with the Hurt Business, MVP like has like PTSD of like the Boogeyman, but now he's like serious Boogeyman.
Would then this lead to like maybe a match between Boogeyman and Dexter Lumis? Just have them tangle with each other. And what would that be?
Yeah.
Would it just be a normal match, or?
I think to make that match happen, you'd have so after he interrupts them at Great Balls of Fire and the no finish happens, I think Dexter Lumis has to be like trying to plot something evil, or he's like being creepy and just from
or
behind.
Or just being creepy.
Just being creepy.
Or maybe he's like off air for a few episodes to like sell the
yeah.
Eaten by worms. But then
eaten by worms. I like that.
That'd be the perfect Byron Saxton, just like, oh, they must have been eaten by worms.
Yeah.
But then Anthony, like you were saying, I think he comes back gradually in promos, like you just see him in the background of things. Like
yeah.
I just thought of what should be in the Firefly Funhouse is it should be a puppet of an earthworm.
Yeah. Booger the earthworm.
Booger the earthworm.
Booger the earthworm.
And the earthworm's just like, I don't like being eaten and mistreated like this.
Yeah.
Oh, a whole like animal cruelty.
and Mercy the buzzard just eats the earthworm.
Yeah, he's like, shut up.
My God.
Okay. Where are we?
Oh yeah, so back to Lumis's return.
Yes, Lumis is coming back. He's taking some weeks off, and he's gradually appearing in people's promos.
Yeah. And in the meantime, Bray Wyatt has been cutting promos in the Firefly Funhouse about the Boogeyman and like just like really cutting him down. And meanwhile, Boogeyman is killing people in the ring. Not literally, but just
squashing people. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And
then Lumis is just like maybe like again in the Thunderdome or like in the background of like other people's promos, kind of like how they introduced the Fiend initially.
Yeah.
Like in the background
with all
of like
the puppets. Yeah.
Kayla Braxton interview.
Yeah, that would be good. I think it'd have to be a thing of just little like hints here and there until finally like Lumis shows up and just destroys the Boogeyman.
Yeah. Like after the Boogeyman takes out like somebody, he comes in after the match and just goes silences him.
It could be this thing of even then introduce or would it be an absolute? Would it be dumb to like have then Dexter like kind of bring back like the fear, like any of the fears that the Fiend has, like kind of like right now with how it's Randy Orton, they keep bringing up like that, like burning down the old Wyatt compound. Yeah. It's like, what if then Dexter is trying to play on like their fears or something like that?
Yeah.
Because it's tough when you have like three spookies and you're like, what are any of their weaknesses? It could be a thing where the Lumis shows up in the Firefly Fun. He's one of the only people I could see actually showing up in the Firefly Funhouse, and like I would believe it.
Yeah. So maybe like the first week back, he attacks Boogeyman after a match, and then the second week he interrupts the Fiend in the Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah, he interrupts Bray Wyatt. Maybe he like throws him like out of like the imaginary door on set, and he just like trashes the place.
Yeah.
Like it could work.
There could be like really fun vignettes of like it goes to the Firefly. It does a Firefly Funhouse segment, and then like one of the pictures in it that is replaced with just a picture of Lumis, and he's just staring, and then like. And then like Brave walks over and rips it down and crumbles it up. Is like, we'll forget about that.
Or it could be like when he first like trashes the funhouse. It's a picture of Lumis, but then his eyes start to move, and then he just like rips.
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
that's
nice.
So
yeah.
good.
That's awesome.
Living portrait, and then he just comes.
Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah, and then it just spills out into a brawl.
Yeah.
In the Firefly Funhouse, and then I mean the easiest thing to be like, where does it go? Because wasn't it when it was the Fiend versus Braun that like he goes into the Firefly Funhouse and then pulls him out, and then they brawl backstage? It was Anthony.
Anthony's lost interest.
I'm here still. My head is just small.
You look like one of. Remember the Super Mario Brothers movie?
Yes.
Like that's how they portrayed the Koopas, whereas these giant dinosaurs with tiny heads.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that was so weird. I was like, he broke in and then dragged him out of the funhouse, and then they were backstage and then in the parking area.
Yeah, so maybe like that first match happens all within the funhouse, like the first like attack. It just like instead of going backstage, it stays in the like idea of the funhouse, and there could be like other parts to the funhouse that you've never seen before that Lumis has found when they fight there.
That'd be really cool. Honestly, I understand why they just have the blue wall and that's it, because it's an easy set. But it would be interesting to see like what else is there.
Yeah.
But
totally.
And do you think in one of these rooms, like a door opens and the Boogeyman is there, and it's just like a room that's like full of dirt and like clocks and worms and and shit like that?
They could enter it by accident and like close the door immediately, and then that leads to like the WrestleMania cinematic type match.
Well, it'd be cool to have it as a Firefly Funhouse match where it like delves into their own. Like, because the whole thing with Cena was like it delved into like what could have been with Cena and what was missed and making fun of his career. It could be interesting if like they go into Lumis and Boogeyman's career, but then they stumble into like that, but for Bray Wyatt, where like it touches on his past like failures and
Husky Harris.
And then even touching on like the what was the match with him and Randy Orton at WrestleMania?
Where they had the bugs on the match.
Yeah. Oh god.
Reputation match.
Like making fun of that, making fun of the Hell in the Cell debacle with Seth. Like like it'd be interesting to play into that, and it's just
his, like,
weird. Yeah.
Just squashed by Goldberg too.
Yep.
That'd be a good.
Yeah, the Dexter Lumis like draws like a really crazy caricature of Goldberg, and it's just like
or it's like it's portraying these like nightmares that Bray's having, and then he sees Dexter as Goldberg.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah.
So good.
And then like the Boogeyman is like a weird version of the Fiend mixed with the Boogeyman or something like that. It'd be so crazy. But yeah, it just devolves into this like madhouse of horrors sort of thing. And then
I could see like a crossover thing where you see like, for example, Bray Wyatt doing the Boogeyman's entrance, and then like Lumis doing Wyatt's entrance and stuff like that.
It's kind of like it's kind of like they're all just mixed in their own like It'd be so weird. It's all of them mixed into their own different like weird worlds.
Yeah, that could be like the commentary of it, like the idea behind it. Like these are all just iterations of the same thing. You could also like cut to footage of like the Undertaker, for example.
Oh yeah, you could have what was the name? I always forget his name. The character that the Godfather had.
Papa Shango.
Yeah. Doink the Clown.
Yeah.
Oh, it would just be like this culmination of like creepy characters in wrestling.
The Butcher. Yeah.
That'd be so cool. So that's the Firefly Funhouse match at WrestleMania is like just this sort of, I guess it ended up being like a celebration of like the creepy characters from wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay, but Boogeyman has to go over, right?
Yeah, maybe he wins. My idea is he wins with the mandible claw, but with worms.
Oh my god! Oh, he puts the worm puppet on his hand. he has two of them, and he like puts them in the mouths of the Fiend and Dexter, and just like chokes them out.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Imagine if it just. Imagine if it was just this like hallucinogenic, like crazy montage of all this stuff happening and them fighting in this madhouse sort of world or whatever. Yeah. And then it kind of does it like an Alice in Wonderland, like going through the rabbit hole. And then they just appear in the middle of the ring at WrestleMania. And then it just ends with that, putting them both down. And then it's just the commentary team. It's fucking Tom Phillips just like, I have no idea what just
happened. The famous last words of Tom.
Yeah. I have no idea what just happened.
Boogeyman stands tall.
And then he cuts to Titus O'Neil just.
Oh my god. Okay. This is crazy. So basically we had Dexter Lumis appearing on Raw, getting involved with The Miz and Morrison.
Oh yeah.
Hey. Ho. Miz and Morrison. And then The Miz warns everybody that Dexter Lumis is the creepiest. And the Fiend like nah.
Yeah.
And then that we get that amazing match at Great Balls of Fire, the Buried Alive House of Horrors.
Great Balls of Fire.
Or the where the Boogeyman makes his return, and we see some weeks of
don't forget about Bray Wyatt, Mr. Rogers against Dexter Lumis.
Oh yes.
Where Dexter just destroys him.
Yes.
Puts terror into the Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah. They break into the Firefly Funhouse, things break, and the Boogeyman squashes everybody, including Retribution.
Her business. Tucker,
yeah.
Tucker's being buried, baby.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And then it just is weeks of mind games.
Game.
Like Lumis appearing places, and the Fiend like just cutting promos on both of them.
Shenanigans in the fun house of just making like fun of both of them. Until finally Dexter comes back and breaks into the funhouse and just runs amok and destroys it.
Trashes the place.
Oh, so good.
Which leads to our WrestleMania match where they delve into each other's pasts. They explore each other very intimately.
Yeah, you gotta rephrase that, Anthony.
Very intimately, they explore each other's bodies and their pasts and what makes them who they are.
And then it goes into this crazy psychedelic montage of them taking on the personas of all these different horror characters throughout WWE's history.
Yeah.
And playing into each other's fears and everything until finally it just ends with them falling through the mystical rabbit hole and appearing in the middle of the ring
At WrestleMania Hollywood.
At WrestleMania Hollywood.
Yeah.
And it's and the finish is double mandible claw with earthworm hands.
Yeah. Booger the Worm.
Booger the Worm. Can there be a run-in by the Yeti, maybe? Maybe that's enough.
Okay,
what would be some crazy... I just want to touch on this because it's a great area to like just dream up like crazy random things. What would happen in that like Firefly Funhouse Madhouse? Firefly Madhouse match or whatever.
Firefly Madhouse.
I think one would be Dexter doing his finisher...
The silence
to say like the Fiend or something, and then he goes to it, like does a close up, and it goes to like pet the person, whoever he ends up slamming, and then it cuts down and he looks down and it's him and he's holding himself.
And I also think a fun thing with Dexter Lumis would be like he's in one of the rooms in the funhouse and there's no exit, but he draws one. Like fucking Looney Tunes style.
Oh, yeah, nice.
It's like a hall of mirrors and everything, and
he opens the door and just immediately gets like punched in the face by like the Fiend.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
There has to be a room or something where it's all like time related, and it's like clocks, all these broken clocks, and they're like at the end of like Hook, where it's the
room of like
the room of all the clock, and then they start all going off and everything. There has to be something like that where
I can see the Fiend going in there and just like going insane.
Yeah. It's just like ah. And then, of course, we have to get a pump handle slam in there. So like as the Fiend is like so discombobulated by the clocks, the Boogeyman hooks him in and hits him with the pump handle slam.
That's it, baby.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think it's a pump handle slam and then into the double mandible.
Yeah. And then Dexter Lumis comes in, tries to attack the Boogeyman, and the Boogeyman hits him also with the pump handle slam. Or he does the sit out double choke slam thing. And then they're both incapacitated. And the worms. Like that's like Santino.
Yeah, Santino.
But it's a worm.
Yeah.
And he chokes him out.
He's a good guy.
I can't even. I can't even deal with this.
Like I said, I had a bunch of good ideas before, and then I was like, no, I'm going to go with this.
It just would be so weird and crazy, but it'd be so... I'd watch it.
Oh, definitely. I think it would be like crazy entertaining. I mean, I don't know about the main event of WrestleMania, but like it's crazy.
We definitely be sports entertained for sure. And that's
definitely. It's
100%.
Like it's like the Boneyard match. Like I was very sports entertained by that match. Even though
fired Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah. The Undertaker literally killed them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's perfect.
Well, I think we've run out of ideas.
That's it.
I think we just put it all out there.
Wow.
Book it, Vince.
Book it, Vince. Book it.
But Vince loves this weird shit.
That's true. So
that's good shit.
That's good shit. And I mean, Dexter Lumis is definitely a Vince McMahon guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's big, he's buff. He doesn't say anything. So But there you go. What do you think, listener, viewer, of our booking for The Fiend versus Dexter Lumis versus the Boogeyman?
Oh.
How would you have booked this insane feud? And who do you think would come out on top? Let us know. But as always, we do have viewer questions. You can submit you just pulled that out now, Anthony. You realize I can be on Raw.
I just found it.
But yeah, so we ask for viewer questions every single week. And so you can submit your questions either by responding to our social posts on Twitter and Instagram, or by sending them to our website, unknownerrorfilms.com/bookitvince, and we'll read them out here. So the first question today, I just need to pull it up. The first question today comes from one Korri Birch, and Korri asks, "Hey Korri, what would be your finisher?"
Oh, my finisher? Thanks for asking, Korri.
I was looking through, and yeah, Korri submitted a question for himself.
My finisher, of course, would be the Green Bay Plunge.
How does that go again?
That was Mr. Kennedy's. It was like fireman scary, and then from the top rope you flip. It was insane. It was like a half Swanton bomb, half Death Valley Driver thing. Wow.
I can't right now.
Yeah, this
is more than I expected. Don't get away from the screen.
Yeah.
Stop.
What's the next question, Marty?
Oh, it's even creepier that the mouth isn't moving. Okay.
It moves now. It just is like a little bit of a delay because I'm talking so fast.
My God. I wish you never found how to do these things. All right, next question is... the next question comes from... I'm losing it right now. No, okay, the next question comes from... I believe the name is Matt Tobin, who asked the question, what was The Rock cooking that smelled so heavenly?
What was The Rock?
Probably pancakes or something. Like his cheat day meals look pretty crazy. Like he makes like pounds of pancakes, and
I always thought oh, pizza was good. I always thought it was like a roast.
Yeah.
Oh,
if you want to take it literally, his other catchphrase was calling people candy asses. So it could be the candied hindquarters of a donkey.
Oh,
nicely.
Oh, a caramelized ass. Ew.
It's funny, you got it, guys. Well.
Too bad no one got to have that. He didn't have a cooking segment. I mean, it'd be now I'm just thinking that would be what would be in if The Rock faced the Fiend for the Firefly Funhouse. The Rock's cooking. What do you smell what I am cooking? All right. Because of those two questions. All the questions this week were kind of joke questions. Is that Guy Fieri on your face? God, okay, I can't take this anymore. Because all the questions were kind of joke questions. This one was actually a kind of a good one, and it's interesting. So I'll ask Anthony this, and Korri, you can give your input too.
Yeah.
I don't know the name, unfortunately, but it was on a comment on on the Facebook post that Korri was tagged in, and the question was, what animal would each wrestler be if they were anthropomorphic animals?
Oh, right.
And then it lists a bunch of animals. So Anthony and Korri, I'm gonna name a person, and you guys got a first response. What animal is this person?
Yes.
Okay, ready?
Gotcha.
So Anthony, what animal is Batista?
Probably like a giant bull. Like a raging bull.
Korri, Seamus.
Seamus?
Yeah. What animal is Seamus?
Okay. He would be, I think, a goat.
Oh,
like a ram?
Yeah.
It's like a billy goat. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Do they kick? Because the kicking, the brogue kick.
That's it, baby.
Anthony, what animal would John Cena be?
What is the universally hated and loved animal all at once?
Blobfish?
Blobfish?
He's the blobfish.
I don't know. Probably something that's like a lion.
I think John Cena would be like a golden retriever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah, he's like a golden retriever. I think a lion as well, because it's like he is, the pride of WWE, and he's the leader, and blah 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 blah
Yeah,
blah,
true.
blah 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 blah.
Jesus.
Do we have any more? Animal wrestlers?
one more animal. Corey, what animal would Brock Lesnar be?
Brock Lesnar?
Yeah.
He would be like one of those wild boars. They have no neck.
This is Brock Lesnar.
Like the one that stole a laptop from that guy at the nudist colony.
I'm gonna, can I F5 this pillow?
Yeah.
Jeez, what has this podcast become?
It's a madhouse.
It's a Firefly madhouse.
It's a Firefly madhouse.
All right. Well, if you want to get your crazy, weird question read on the podcast, you can submit it to us online or send it to us on our website, UnknownErrorFilms.com/book events. To close out the episode, every week we have a match recommendation for you to go and watch and check out. And whenever we have our guests on, we ask them for a match recommendation. So Korri Birch, tell us what your match recommendation is that you think people should go and watch.
I don't know if anybody's recommended this one before, but the match between Eddie Guerrero and Mr. Kennedy. It was, I think it was Eddie's last match. And
wow, really?
Yeah, it's one that he did like the smash the chair and then.
Like, right, yeah, where he faked out getting injured and then
the mat and then Mr. Kennedy.
Oh, the classic Eddie, the classic chair.
Yeah, so I definitely. I think I remember watching that match. It's actually funny. You would think about you think back on Eddie and you go, oh yeah, that was a long time ago. And then when you say something like that, like, yeah, Eddie versus Mr. Kennedy, I'm like, oh wait, right, they were in WWE at the same time. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. I like Mr. Kennedy. I know he went on to do TNA and Impact and stuff, but like
he was on NWA like briefly, and now NWA is kind of like putting on stuff, but it's like few and far between.
Yeah. But
I wish he would come back. He's a great character.
Mm-hmm.
That was another one of my recommendations. So you guys have me back at least 30 times.
At least 30 times.
I'm definitely gonna need to go back and watch that match now, because that's interesting. I like both of them, so yeah, that'd be really cool. But yeah, Corey, thank you so much for joining us for this weird episode.
Coming, it was a wacky episode, but it was a fun one. I had a great time.
Yeah,
I know you did, Anthony.
I had an excellent time. Yeah.
A good time with
But Corey, tell people where they can check you out and follow the stuff that you're doing.
Oh yeah, totally. So I'm at Korri Birch on Instagram. It's spelled the way that nobody would ever guess. Korri and then Birch like the tree, Birch. Or Good News Comedy on Instagram as well. We're still doing monthly shows. We're doing them all virtually now because of the pandemic. So yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for listening. Or seriously, again, if you've made it this far listening to the episode, why didn't you go over to the YouTube channel and watch it?
You should 100% watch this episode. This is a watch episode.
But thank you so much for watching and checking us out. Again, you can follow everything that we do here at Book Events or Unknown Error Films online by following us at UE_films. You can follow myself online on Twitter and Instagram at Barton_Minute. And you can follow Mr. Anthony Hall
at Holland Jokes on Instagram and Twitter.
And again, check out our excellent guest, Korri Birch, and everything that he does. We'll check you next. We'll catch you next time. Thank you for listening. Go watch some wrestling and be safe out there.
Book it, Vince.
can't handle this. Oh my god.